Economic growth in the UK is flatlining, and the government is desperate to find new ways to help business. One way, it thinks, is to tear up thousands of regulations, starting with the planning law and in particular, the Green Belt. The pristine countryside encircling many British cities was once sacrosanct, but new reforms will make it easier to build on.
Here in Cambridge, planners have already started to ease restrictions, allowing construction on the Green Belt in some areas in return for conserving the countryside elsewhere. This more relaxed approach has enabled the university to get planning permission for a £1 billion project to expand its world-class research facilities. It hopes to attract more international experts and provide space for technology and pharmaceutical companies in this growing tech hub.
This farmland used to be part of the Green Belt, but from next year work will begin on transforming it into 100,000 square metres of research facilities and 3,000 homes, half of which will be for university employees and half sold to help fund the project.
If we're to remain at the forefront, internationally competitive, then we need to be able to attract and recruit and retain the most talented researchers from around the world. There is no alternative to building on Greenbelt land because Cambridge is a small, crowded, fundamentally medieval city.
George Osborne is holding up Cambridge as an example to be followed nationally, but campaigners worry that Britain could lose land it has preserved for hundreds of years, and the economy won't necessarily benefit.
We don't think it's necessary to release Greenbelt land either for new housing or for business development. There's plenty of brownfield land available for new housing development, but there's also twice that amount on top of that that's available for new commercial and business development. If you look at the example of Coventry, they're talking about releasing Greenbelt land near the airport for a major new business development. But there's actually the old Peugeot site in the centre of Coventry, which has been derelict for many years. And I think many people in Coventry would actually prefer to see that site developed first, rather than the city sprawling outwards even further.
But some economists think we need to be less precious about our pastures if we're to use every opportunity to boost growth.
An appropriate relaxation of Greenbelt policy would be very, very useful. The best example of where Greenbelt policy, or rather its absence, has been helpful is in Silicon Valley. In Silicon Valley, they allowed the area to be swamped with housing, new production facilities that were really building on the IT revolution that was coming out of those universities. We could achieve the same thing in Britain, building on the success of our best universities. That will bring an awful lot of jobs for an awful lot of people.
Even if the sums do add up, bulldozing fields like this across the country might not work politically. The Conservatives have traditionally stood for this vision of a green and pleasant land. So with their new focus on growth above all else, they might not be as popular in their rural Tory heartlands, where people might say, as many have before, not in my backyard. Hannah Kuchler, Financial Times, Cambridgeshire.